Bruce, this is Miss Newshark coming at you with your first Code.org video. So we are going to start actually with lesson 2 called Introduction to Online Puzzles. Lesson 1 we would normally do in class, so it's called an unplugged activity. So we're going to start with lesson 2. Alright, so most of you guys should remember this a little bit from last year, but just a quick overview. So each line here is a lesson. So we have lesson 2, and then I call these activities like point 1, point 2, so like 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, etc. This diamond right here means that it is a video. I do want you to watch that video before you start. In addition to this video, it's got a lot of really important tips and tricks for you and things you may not remember from last year, so it'll be a really good refresher. And for anyone who didn't take computer science, it'll be really important info for you to know before starting. All right, so we're not going to watch that together. I'll let you watch that on your own. So we'll go ahead and start with activity number 2. Click on it. All right, so first we're going to get a little reminder of all of the things going on in this screen because there is a lot. Okay, so at the top here you have your instructions box. So a lot of times it will give you arrows to click on, so make sure that you're reading the entire set of instructions, just like in math, just like in reading. This also has, you're also able to get hints. So this particular activity allows 2 hints. So if you click on it, it'll say, do you want a hint? You can say yes or no. So I'm going to say no because I don't need one right now. And one of the most important things, I mean, I use this anyway, is you can have the instructions read to you. So if you hit this play button right here, it will read this whole set of instructions to you. For my friends who are more comfortable in Spanish, that is totally okay. I want you to be more comfortable with the coding than with trying to read English. So down in this left-hand corner right here, there's a little drop-down menu. If you click on the arrow, so right now it shows English, but you can choose Espanol, and it will switch everything, and I do mean everything, to Spanish for you. Okay, and it will, if you hit the play button, it will read it in Spanish as well. Okay, so that is always an option. I'm perfectly fine with that. You choose the language you are more comfortable with. I'm more comfortable with English, so we are going to stick with English for right now, but I just want you to be aware that that is an option for you whenever you wish. Okay? Down here, you have your workspace. So this is where you're going to put all of your code. So right now there are 2 blocks in here. So this when run block is always here. It never ever moves. And then we do have 2 blocks. So we call them blocks. We call them blocklies, pieces of code. Kind of depends on who's talking. So right now you're going to notice that these blocks are kind of grayed out. They're not really easy to read. That's because they are not connected. So for a code to be run, they have to be connected to the when run block. So you'll know they're connected when you hear this sound and when you see the block brighten. So it gets like really vibrant and stuff. So see the difference between the two right here? This one's pretty bright, this one's not. So if we were to hit the run button, our friend would only move forward once. Okay? So next is your blocks. As we go through this, you're going to get more and more blocks to add to this. So right now you're only able to use move forward blocks, but that's all you need for this puzzle. And then over here is, I call it your map. It's the picture of what you need to do. So you're going to take a look at your Angry Bird, and you're going to figure out what does he need to do to get to the pig. Well, if I look, he needs to jump forward. He needs to move forward 2 spaces. 1 space, 2 space. And then down here is your run block. So when you are finished with your code or you think you're finished, you would hit run, and it will run your code, and it will tell you if you need to add things, take away things. And this is another block that we're going to use a little bit more later in the course, but it's called the step block. So, you know, you have more than one block in here. So another thing to call these is a step. So like this first move forward block would be one step. This would be second step, excuse me. So if you wanted to do one thing at a time, you could hit the step button, and instead of running the whole code, it just runs one thing at a time. This is really good for what's called debugging or finding your errors in your code, which we're going to work on, I think, in lesson 3 or 4. So that step button is here for you, so it'll just see it only moves him one space. And only just one step at a time. Okay? So again, that's something we'll use more in later lessons, but I wanted to explain it to you now. Alright, so moving on to lesson or activity 3, it says drag an extra move forward block out of the toolbox, then attach all blocks to when run to finish your code. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to connect all of the blocks I do have. And then we're going to drag our move forward block out. So I always check to make sure that I have enough blocks for the amount of steps I need to take. Okay, so I'm looking, my Angry Bird needs to take 1 step, 2 steps, 3. Right, do I have enough blocks? 1, 2, 3. I sure do. Let's run and see how it goes. That noise means you did a good job and you created the code correctly. All right, let's do 1 or 2 more together. All right, this pig is ruffling my feathers. There is 1 extra block that is going to cause the bird to crash. So just like I said before, these instructions, there are more instructions. You need to use the arrow. Throw it away by moving it from the other blocks and dragging it back to the toolbox. So your blocks will not always be these colors. They're trying to kind of get you used to your code blocks. So the one that they want you to get rid of is this blue one right here. So to do that, you actually grab the blocks around it and take them apart. So I'll take these bottom chunks off, grab the one that I want to get rid of, and then to get rid of a block, you're going to drag it back to the block section, and you'll see this trash can appear. Let go. Bye bye block. And then to be able to run our code correctly, make sure to take this bottom chunk that you just took off and bring it right back up. So now it's all bright again. It's all connected. Alright, so now that we've removed that extra block, let's run and see what we've got. Awesome. Alright, so now comes the tricky part. So now we are creating the code entirely on our own. So what I always like to look at is, what does our bird need to do to get to the pig? Okay, so I know we need to avoid the TNT because it says avoid TNT or feathers will fly. That's not a good thing. So what does my bird need to do? And I generally take this step by step just until I'm more comfortable with things. So first I know that my bird needs to move forward. So I'll take a move forward block, drag it out. Okay, so now I know my bird will be, so you can use the step block or the step button to kind of keep your bird moving so you can see what he needs to do next, or I just kind of play it in my head to see where my bird is. So, except I think I'll do the step once so it's easier for you guys to see. So I'll hit the step once. It's going to say I'm wrong, but that's okay. Alright, so now knowing where my bird is, he needs to turn left or right. Which way do you think? Right, very good. So you're going to grab a turn right block. And if you ever do grab the wrong one, it's totally fine. If you hit this arrow button right here, you're able to change it to left. So they're interchangeable, it's not a problem. So then I need him, so now he's turning He's facing towards the bottom of our screen. He needs to, awesome, yes, move forward. Okay, so now we'll do step, step, and step. So see how it kind of lets us go one by one to see what we need to do left, what we have left to do. So now my bird needs to turn either right or he needs to turn left. Which way should he go? This is tricky, but yes, it's left. So one of the things that is really tricky is you need to look at which way the bird is facing, because we're facing kind of the opposite of him. So I might actually turn my chair around, and if we were in the classroom, we would actually do this: turn our chair selves around so we're facing the same way as the bird is, and see which way is right and which way is left. So while it's our right facing the screen, he actually has to go left. Confusing, but you'll get the hang of it, I promise. So he's going to turn, but then he also needs to, you got it, he needs to move forward. All right, so we're going to hit the reset button, send our guy back to start, and then we'll hit run to see what happens. Very nice, guys. Very, very nice. All right, so the next one is I'm going to leave you to do number 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you want to do the lesson extras, that's totally fine, but you do not have to. Let me repeat that. You do not have to do the lesson extras. It's completely up to you. Sometimes they're a little bit harder and they can be a little frustrating if you don't have an adult with you. So just a heads up on that. Okay, so remember to use each of your blocks. Really think about where your bird needs to go, which way he needs to turn, and really think about using that step block to help you go step by step to figure out what your bird needs to do next. All right, so make sure if you get stuck, feel free to watch this video again. Feel free to watch the video at the very beginning. You can always go back and watch that whenever you want. And if you really get stuck, feel free to message me on Class Dojo and I will help you out the best I can. All right, my tech gurus, happy coding. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.